Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Industrial Stream with me, Pop. So, in case you're new around here, we look at things from an industrial point of view. We have a look at the news from around the industrial world, and then we have a look at some articles, and then usually show some pictures and maybe some videos of some projects I've been a part of. Before we get into all of that, I just want to say welcome to you, David Glenn. Good to see you. You came up with that interesting question. If plumbers have to constantly deal with giant apes throwing barrels at them, do the other trades have final boss hazards? Yes. Yes, we do. And we eventually came down to the elusive seagull manager. And for those of you that don't know what a seagull manager, they come in, they come flying in, squawking and shitting all over, and then they leave. So that's what a seagull manager does. And I want to say hello to you too, James. How's it going, James? Hope you're feeling all right. I don't know if you've got had a chance to get yourself checked out though. Got to get those headaches under control, right? Scared fellas. Multiple scans of your cat are needed. Not sure how long for this world. Think the barometric flipping is contributing to the headaches. Supposed to go in Valentine's Day. Oh, wow. Well, February, not long away. You've got about a month to go. A friend passed that day. Perhaps some superstitions there. Eee. Yeah, let's hope it's just a bit of superstition and not something that's going to come to pass here. But yeah, good for you. You got in there. You got to get yourself some more scans, and hopefully they can figure out what's going on. All right, why is only 2 of those active? Twitch is not active. Give me a second here, guys. I'm just got to check and see what's going on here. Why isn't Twitch? Maybe it's a Twitch problem, not a me problem. You found a letter. They wanted to do one 2 years ago for lung cancer. Oh, lung cancer. Oof. Yeah, that's pretty harsh. Let's see here. Just checking. Here, we'll just pop out chat just on Twitch just to see. Here, we'll just pop out chat just on Twitch just to see. There we go. All right. The smallest things are usually. There was no down. It was uphill all the time. Ah. Smallest things are usually C clips that hit the ground when you take them off. Huh. I did not know that. What do you say we get to some news, though? And I'm going to just take this and put it over here. There we go. We'll open this up. There we go. Aaron Clary's parody of boomers. I don't know who Aaron Clary is. On the other hand, you're no damn good at being idle poor. Doubt that would be better as idle rich. Yeah. Hey, what's up, DJ Ronnie G? How you doing? Okay. Our first one here is government invests 11 million in Canadian technologies to advance clean fuels. Doesn't seem like very much at all. 11 million. The federal government has announced it is investing over 11 million to support projects that will advance the technologies needed to further strengthen Canada's clean fuels and alternative fuel sectors. Of this funding, 5.5 million was allocated through the Energy Innovation Program, including 2.55 million to Centre Technologique des Résidus Industriels in Quebec. Of course, the majority of it went to Quebec. Gotta buy those votes somehow. 424,000 to Pyrogenesis in Quebec. 1.5 million to CRH Canada Group in Ontario, and 1 million to Greenfield Global in Alberta. Funding is also allocated for clean energy studies under the Clean Fuels Fund, including 3.52 million to Atura in Ontario, 2.25 million to Wenakong Shawinigan Clean Energy Corporation in Ontario, and 92,500 to Buswell Brokenhead Development Corporation in Manitoba. Projects receiving funding will help enable the shift to more affordable, lower carbon fuels in high-emitting sectors such as biomass collection, transportation, and processing. It will also accelerate Canada's efforts to further develop high-potential alternative energy sources such as hydrogen. I mean, those would have been developed already if they weren't being, suppressed. Canada has natural resources, technologies, and the skilled workforce that will be able to enable us to be an energy superpower in a world racing towards lower emissions. I don't know if everyone else is racing towards lower emissions. I'd like to think that we're probably the only ones that are. I'm sure India and China aren't doing anything to remedy that. Low carbon fuels are a big economic opportunity. They are critical for future development of key economic sectors, including aviation, shipping, and heavy industry. The federal government is maximizing Canada's ability to take advantage of the major economic opportunities that are before us. I don't know, I guess if you keep telling yourself a lie, you eventually believe it. What's up, Alex Moore? How you doing? They're called C-clips because they reach about 9.769 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. And they're never seen again. Well, there we go. They're throwing money at it, hoping that they will develop alternative fuels. But that's not going to happen. If they were really serious about it, it would have been done already. I was watching an old news clip from 1970s, and I think it was Jack Nicholson who had a car that ran on hydrogen. So they had the technology in the 1970s. This tells me they're not serious about it at all, otherwise there would have been a major shift already. China exports pollution and cheap crap? Yep. Yep. 100%, James. And exporting people, yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. They really do export people. Lion Electric plans to focus on buses rather than trucks in a bid to attract a buyer. So those guys are still in trouble. They filed for creditor protection, we read last week. And now they're going to try to focus just on making buses rather than trucks, which doesn't make any sense to me because, why wouldn't you diversify and make both? Canada added 91,000 jobs in December as unemployment rate fell. That's nice. Manitoba offers $17 million for aerospace projects training and testing center. Let us see. Oh man, this is a short article. Manitoba government is spending $17 million in a bid to create more aerospace jobs and training opportunities. The money includes an $8 million grant and a $9 million loan to be repaid over 12 years to Magellan Aerospace. Premier Wab Kinew says some of the money will be used to set up a state-of-the-art machining center and a new testing environment, and 64 new jobs are expected overall. Money will also go to train students at Red River College Polytech. Magellan has 2 manufacturing facilities in the Winnipeg area, and General Manager Ron Drapal says the government investment will allow the company to hire additional staff and deliver cutting-edge products. Which cutting-edge products? What are you talking about? You guys gotta explain a bit more. You're getting government money and they're investing in your company, but you don't ever say what you're going to deliver. Drapal says the money will also help the business become more efficient, making it more competitive on the international stage. So if you throw more money at a business, it becomes more efficient? That doesn't make any sense to me. Usually if you have to run lean, your business becomes very efficient. So sounds like a big scam to me. Hey, what's up, Fabric? How you doing, man? How's my favorite large breed veterinarian? Tools are made of Chinesium, the softest metal known to man. Hydrogen embrittlement is a thing. Bad fuel for internal combustion. Ah, okay. You're blaming the furnace? Pizza. They'll deliver pizza. Yeah, that's right. Well, that was, yeah, like I say, that was a short article. What's this? Smith opposes blocking energy exports to the U.S., but Ford wants to keep the option open. I mean, that's a really stupid idea to me. I'm sure there's contracts in place. It's not just like you can go, oh, yeah, we're going to stop sending energy to the United States. Like, of all the stupid things for someone to come up with. Bob Lazar had an interesting Corvette. Ran on hydrogen. Oh, Bob Lazar. I've heard of that fella. Yep. The fuel tanks were interesting. Ah. Fascinating. So yeah, we're heading towards the novel Snow Crash, in your opinion? I've never read Snow Crash. The hydrogen tank contained a catalyst, like a solid material that the hydrogen would bind to. So if you puncture a tank, nothing bad happens. Otherwise, you don't trust the guy. Yeah, there was Bob Lazar. There was also Stanley Meyer. Stanley Meyer made a car that ran on water. But then he suddenly had an accident. Something happened to him. Suddenly. Because he came up with a water-powered car. So take that what you will. To release gaseous hydrogen, there's a heating element. The catalyst heats up, it releases low PSI. Good. Combine 4 tanks to produce enough PSI for the Corvette. Huh. Okay, let's have a look here. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, fresh off a weekend visit with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, cautioned Ottawa against blocking energy exports to the U.S. in response to Trump's tariff threat on Monday. But Ontario Premier Doug Ford said he wants to keep the option open. This guy's an idiot. You know, he's just the premier of the province. It's like, you know what? Shut up, sit down. You aren't the prime minister. Stop flapping your stupid gap. There's not going to be any cutting off of energy exports. Oil and gas is owned by the provinces, principally Alberta, and we won't stand for that, Smith told reporters in a virtual news conference. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, meanwhile, said Monday he wants to see Canada block exports to the United States of critical minerals like aluminum, lithium, and potash in response to the tariff threat. There's another idiot. This guy is he's the NDP leader, so he's the far left party of Canada, and he's an idiot. So if Trump wants to pick a fight with Canada, we have to make sure it's clear that it's going to hurt Americans as well, Singh told news conference in Ottawa. No, we don't. And we all know it was just the fact that all Trump said was stop the illegal immigration and stop the drugs. And he wouldn't put tariffs down. So, I mean, I don't see why these guys are so stupid they can't figure it out. Afraid we'll all have to invade since Alberta is slated to be under Crow control. We'll be having taxes because you pay too much. Thanks, Fabric. Yeah, them darn Ford brothers. Yeah, you got it right, David. Yeah, Fabric. You know, I got no problem if we were to become the 51st state. All I want is the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights and everything transferred over to us, so we have the same rights and everything like that. Because I think that's very important. Tesla invented so much stuff, like a no kidding Fountainhead, and they turned him into a pigeon poop-loving recluse. What the things that were done to him by Edison and all that, it's disgusting. The guy was a brilliant genius, and he didn't want to charge people for things, and that's probably what they had a problem with. But Tesla did so much to advance electricity and electronics. It's amazing. Coming up with the AC motor, even AC electricity to use rather than DC. Just, the guy was brilliant. Seems like a lot of these things just disappear along with their inventors, yeah. Okay, let's keep going here. Ford said that while an embargo on energy and critical mineral exports to the U.S. is the last thing he wants to see, Canada shouldn't rule out any means to inflict economic pain on the U.S. if the tariff dispute escalates. No, we don't need to do that. This is just more fear-mongering. Canada's critical minerals exports to the United States were valued at nearly $30 billion in 2023. That's nearly 60% of the value of all Canadian critical mineral exports. I want to ship them more critical minerals. I want to ship them more energy, Ford said. But make no mistake about it, if they're coming full tilt at us, I won't hesitate to pull out every single tool we have until they feel the pain. But that's the last thing I want to do. Like I said, just sit down and shut up. You're a little kid. You're a little kid trying to play the big man, and it's not working. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly hasn't ruled out an energy embargo in response to Trump's promise to impose a punishing 25% tariff on Canadian products. Smith said the federal government shouldn't be making empty threats, and it's not Joly's call to make. She said cutting off pipeline supplies through Michigan would choke key supplies to Ontario and Quebec as well. I would think we'll suffer a lot more than the U.S. will, honestly. If Ottawa moves to cut off energy exports, Smith said, they'll have a national unity crisis on their hands at the same time as having a crisis with our U.S. trade partners. Alberta's premier said Canada needs to be prepared for the tariffs to come into effect on January 20th, Trump's first day in office. I haven't seen any indication in any of the president's public commentary or even in the comments that he had with me that he's inclined to change his approach, she said. Singh argued that the fact Trump still intends to implement broad-based tariffs after he and members of his administration met with Joly, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc shows he can't be reasoned with. Oh, he can be. You just have to do the smart thing. We'd have to turn each province into a separate state, but we refuse to take the Quebecers or those Prince Edward Island weirdos. That's fine, Fabric. Yeah, I got your meaning, of course. Inventor, not financier, yes. Michigan would be doing better if they finished I-69. We'll be deporting all the Kazakhstani liberals to Denmark as part of our Greenland strategy. Hey, I love your ideas. Those are great ideas. Canada too? Canada? The U.S. imports all of its graphite which is used in manufacturing a wide range of products from pencils to nuclear reactors. China, Mexico, and Madagascar are the other major suppliers of graphite to the U.S. market. Over the weekend, Jolly said Canadians need to be ready for economic threats, along with adding all leaders need to put Canada first and show a united front. We have to be very realistic, very pragmatic, and we have to be ready to, because something we can't do is not take President-elect Trump at his word, because when he says something, he usually does it. Yeah. Hey, Aris, how you doing, man? Good to see you. We're just going through this article here about how we send, how they're like, we want to cut off the energy supply to the U.S. And it's like, well, that's stupid. Don't do that. Sarnia to South Texas. It's supposed to be done. Oh, wow. All the way from Sarnia, eh? Give Quebec to France. Yeah, like France is going to take them. France immediately surrenders and demands the UN. Bail them out from their mess. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't think they'd ever want to take them. That's France taking Quebec. They just look down on them. She said Ottawa is pursuing a strategy to engage the incoming U.S. administration through measures that include a new border plan, developing military alliances, and cooperating on energy issues. And at the same time, we're working on a retaliation plan. I can't go into details on the retaliation plan because I think it would be bad strategy. What I can tell you is everything is on the table. Smith visited Trump at his Florida home over the weekend as a guest of Canadian businessman and television personality Kevin O'Leary. O'Leary has suggested that it would benefit Canada to combine its economy with that of the U.S. and erase the border separating the two countries. Smith will be attending Trump's inauguration next week. She has been on a diplomatic offensive of late, meeting with American elected officials and appearing on a news broadcast south of the border. She has argued the tariffs would harm both Canadian and American consumers, particularly through higher gas prices. Smith said Monday that incoming president's biggest source of irritation is the trade imbalance with Canada. She says she expects Trump's promised tariffs to remain in effect until the imbalance is resolved. I think the solution is to find ways to buy more American goods, and that seems to me to be the very logical step that we should take. So I'll put that on the table, she said. She and the other premiers are expected to meet with Trudeau to discuss the issue on Wednesday. There's a lot of rumors going around, but when we get there Wednesday, we'll expect a list. And we need them to be 100% ready, Ford said, of potential retaliatory tariffs. When asked if excluding energy from those retaliatory tariffs might undermine the negotiating position of other premiers or of Canada as a whole, Ms. Smith said she feels talking about energy is the way we make the case to avoid tariffs on every Canadian product. If Alberta's energy exports were taken out of the trade equation, the Americans would have a trade surplus with Canada, she said. Prince Edward Island Premier Dennis King is on his own economic mission to the northeastern United States, including Maine, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. King is leading a 22-person delegation meeting with industry leaders, business associations, and stakeholders to promote PEI's contributions to the potato and seafood sectors. 22 people seems like an awful lot to take on that delegation with him. I bet you it's just a big party. It's held up somewhere in the middle. Why they don't finish it? Oh, that I-69. Doesn't the oil come from Canada to the U.S., gets refined, and goes straight back? Aren't they threatening to cut off their own? Yes, Fabric. We excavate and dig up bitumen or tar sands or whatever you want to call it. It's pumped by pipeline down to the U.S. oil refineries where it is refined, and it is sent right back here. Why we don't refine it here ourselves, I have no idea. I think it's the absolute stupidest thing we have to do is send it to a different country to get it refined and then get it sold back to us. If we would refine it here ourselves, I'm sure it would be a lot cheaper for us. God forbid some good products of the snow and land be driven to Mexico City or something. Yeah. anyways, that's it for that one. I think it's a dumb idea. Like I said, you don't just cut off somebody's energy because they start charging you. Why do Canadian politicians hate Canada so much? You know what? I wish I could answer that. I wish I knew. It's amazing. It's like they're not working for the people, obviously. Like any politician, they're working for themselves. You know, they're working for, you know, enriching their own lives and their own pocketbooks, and not caring about the average person. Metal recyclers are going to be busier than hell for the next 5 to 10 years. Oh, yeah. What's this one? Canadian energy groups unite against U.S. tariff threat on oil and gas exports. I mean, it's just more fear-mongering. Here's a webinar series. The future of Canadian manufacturing. Okay, they're just on the February 5th, February 20th, and March 11th. Only on March 11th they're going to talk about skilled labor, people, and talent. So that, to me, that should be their number one focus. With these fires and floods and scrapped cars and trucks and tractors. Oh yeah, yeah. With all that stuff's just gonna be, they're gonna be kept busy for a lot of years. Yeah. Well, that's it for Plant Magazine. Let's move along here. I saw this one, and the headline caught my eye here. It's time for policy reform to avoid a demographic cliff in trade labor. After the lockdowns caused the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression, employers across the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and the European Union have been struggling. They've been struggling and competing to find workers. He spoke with various industry trade association representatives for perspectives on the history of the shortage of skilled trades workers in Canada. Realities of a pending labor shortage, I heard, were shocking. Most professionals know that COVID-19 policy responses globally changed the labor market dramatically. Also, like I've said before, guys, this is demographics. Anybody with half a brain could look at the aging population as you go through the years and be like, oh, all this big group of baby boomers are going to be retiring in this year. There's going to be a substantial drop in the workforce. Like this shouldn't be but I know it is. It's just a big surprise for everybody. Like, oh, I didn't see this coming. It's like, well, no, because didn't pull your head out of your ass. You know, you have to do that once in a while. You have to look around and see what's going on. But demographics tells you everything you need to know. ExxonMobil is the only company with the expertise to distill Venezuelan oil. It's thick, more like tar and asphalt, kind of like Michigan oil. Looks like an oil turd. Well, yeah, that's what bitumen is. It's like a tar sand. Once they refine, you get the sand out of it and get the oil out of the sand, and then all you're left with is the sand, and they put that back into the ground. Time to solve the trades labor shortage. It was 5 years ago they put themselves. Yes, fabric. Exactly, 100%. And if you don't want to go into the trades, go be a large breed veterinarian, because there's going to be an opening up in Wyoming, I think, pretty soon. So large breed veterinarian, very good job. Yeah, Alex, it requires a lot to do. Global advisories like Deloitte and McKinsey have been tracking the lingering worker shortages, with McKinsey reporting in 2024 that the shortages may be longer than expected. Labor markets in advanced economies today are among the tightest in 2 decades, not merely a pandemic policy-induced blip, but a long-term trend that may continue as workforces age. Duh, no kidding. Like, geez. Professionals across industries have been discussing impending skilled labor shortages for years before COVID-19. Really, but they haven't been talking long enough or loud enough. Some of us older Xers will be retiring soon as well. Yeah, I could see that, Fabric. Get another doctorate in IT, despite there isn't a job for you. You got your first pilot hire and deeper. Yeah, James. Yeah, learn to code, will you? That was that big thing that they said, oh, you're losing your jobs? Well, learn to code. And now the people that are, people that were saying that are losing their jobs, and they're like, oh. And it's like, well, I guess coding didn't get you anywhere. You'll endeavor not to be so negative. It's hard to sometimes, isn't it? Alex Fulthorpe, president of Blackstone Industrial Services, has commented that the looming retirement of huge numbers of baby boomer generation workers has been an ongoing issue, creating a labor shortage in Canada in several key industries as well as energy. This demographic issue, see, they even wrote it here. I've been saying this. This demographic issue in all trades has been an issue for 20 years. Parity of esteem in the trades needs to be taught at youthful ages and echoed in the community, or it will never be fixed. This issue is why we built our business and defend the value of highly skilled trades. It's a Western civilization issue. Skilled trades are often referred to as nation building, as the workers literally build and maintain the buildings, structures, infrastructures, facilities, and technologies that make modern cities, countries, and modern life possible. The reality is emerging that all industries, including the Canadian energy industry, have not been anticipating and attracting the newer generations of workers that are critical to replace the ongoing retirement of their most experienced workers. This is all on the company's fault. This is all their fault. They're too short-sighted. They're like, oh yeah, just kick the can down the road. Don't worry about it. Just kick it down the road. I blame it all on them. If your business, if you have a company and it's failing to bring in workers, then it's your fault. You did not plan accordingly. In 2021, RBC's Skilled Trades Report forecast that over 700,000 skilled tradesmen are expected to retire by 2028, while fewer younger workers choose careers in trades, as an outdated perception of the trades has hobbled recruitment efforts. Oh, but what happened to the Zoomer, the tool belt generation? I keep hearing that. We'll see. It's our cans that get kicked always. That carpal tunnel is a real bitch, ain't it? Full of crap urinalists. I mean, yeah. The beauty of the trade industry is that they can be trained quickly, but companies have to want it. Yes. The companies have to want it. They're the ones that are like, oh, we need help. It's like, you were short-sighted. You did not plan accordingly. Government's evil. Media's evil. Yes, you do not hate the old style media. You don't hate them enough. Same with the government. You don't hate the government enough. That can's headed off the cliff. Yeah. Megacorps are especially evil. Yep, they sure are. To use the energy industry as an example, in April 2024, Reuters reported that annual shutdown turnaround maintenance on Canada's oil sands plants was forecast to cause no more disruption than usual this year. Meanwhile, the same report also noted that trade union officials are warning of a labor crunch during Alberta's 2025 turnaround season as construction takes off on 2 new industrial projects. So how can Canadian industries address the challenge of impending labor shortages, and what policies would help? At the Canadian Institute, Shutdown's Turnaround Super Conference in Calgary, a panel of leaders across several industry, trade associations, and companies assembled to discuss strategies to overcome skilled labor challenges. The discussion tied part of the reason for the diminishing pool of trades workers to a perception in developed countries of trade jobs as being lesser than or less desirable than other professions such as doctors, dentists, engineers, etc. The perception didn't seem entirely due to the compensation levels, but more due to a tendency in schools to devalue careers and training in trades. Yes, I blame the schools. I'm pretty sure that the universities and colleges might slip them some money to be like, no, direct them to our way. Show the kids in our direction. Don't send them to a trade school. Panelists agreed that work to explore opportunities to improve recognition and respect of trades would go a long way to motivate students to seek a career in the trades. Terry Parker, Executive Director of the Building Trades of Alberta, suggested that the education approach used in Germany could be effective. You can go back to work in a spring shop, $17 an hour, and some kind of health insurance. Yeah? Maybe the coming shortage is that people are going to learn to respect the trades once their cushy city lives are affected. Oh, big time. Yup. 100% Fabric. Not great, but infinitely better than zero. Yeah, James. We saw the difference in the way that people were respected in trades in Europe, especially in Germany, with the parity of esteem and how a doctor was treating a construction worker or a trades worker, the way everyone would be treated with the same amount of respect. We don't see that in Canada. And we need to be on that same level playing field where teachers are telling the students it's okay to be a construction worker, it's okay to be a tradesman, and have the mutual respect. I know it's going to take years before we get there, but we have to work towards it so that we start seeing more people coming into the trades. Paul DeJong, president of the Progressive Contractor Association of Canada, spoke to the challenge in the construction industry in Canada and internationally, which is focused on short-term solutions, even though it has been known that the labor shortage problem is a long-term in nature. He proposed changes to Canadian public policy. You can walk or bicycle there, maybe learn something online. Damn straight, James. Whatever you can do, man. I think that's the most important thing. Oh, hey, a Twitch bot. Boom, you're gone. There are two areas of policy change I think need to occur. We have a robust immigration pathway system in Canada. If you're coming to Canada with a trade certificate, there are two problems that you have. One is to have your trade certificate recognized in Canada, and that's not hard to overcome. The other problem is that there's a point system. If you're a dentist, doctor, engineer, a scientist, or an accountant immigrating to Canada, there's a point system that gives you better access to landing in Canada than if you're a person with a trade certificate. You should have an equal footing when it comes to professional designations, whether academic designation or one that comes from a trade school. Just because someone has a ticket from another country doesn't mean it's valid. I've worked with guys that said they were welders, but they were not. We could tell by the quality of welds that they were doing, even though he had a welding ticket from his country of origin. He was not a welder, he was garbage. So you can't just be like, oh, good, you have a ticket. No. You need to make them test them out to do that. Surgeons work on engines while they're running. You're suitably impressed, but you're not kissing ass. There's a veterinarian practice in town too. There you go. That can be pretty lucrative. People will pay obscene amounts of money to get their pets back to health. Companies think they can import their way out of this, but they won't be able to because foreign workers do not work safe. Yeah, they don't work safe, and there's no guarantee that their ticket is valid. You know, you can print up anything. If you're from another country and you're going to another one, you'd be like, yeah, hey, look at me. I'm an engineer. We knew we were having a demographic cliff in 2010 in the energy industry, Linder said, and we put all these resources into long-term strategies. But when the bottom dropped out of the oil in 2015, 2016, we dropped those strategies. Linder advised that since the energy industry foresaw the worker shortage 14 years ago, now in 2024, the discussion has become urgent. Once again, you guys are the ones that pushed it down the road further. You can make a weld of no quality assured whatsoever. That's okay, James. You can weld just super duper badly. What do we do in March of 2025? Linder asked. We are hitting an epic number of construction activities, incredible numbers of major energy turnarounds, not just in Alberta, but also in Saskatchewan and out east. What are we going to do? We've got 4 months. Some of these folks are already in the pre-planning and pre-work stages. So where are the people coming from? Linder had a few solutions that could be implemented immediately. She suggested revising some work plans to get some of the bare minimum work done. She suggested that understanding that a project will not get 3,500 people for 45 days in April or September or even April 2026 can enable a company to focus on setting reasonable expectations if they can only get 70% of the workforce required. This approach could work better, encouraging companies to optimize their workers. She also suggested utilizing the trades according to regulations, not purely according to jurisdiction, and not overutilizing specialized trades. Yeah, but whoever has the most money, like your Shells and Petrocans and all that, people are going to go there. They're going to fork out the money to the contractors, and they're going to be like, oh, well, we'll drop everything to come for you guys. So that's what's going to happen. What's going on, Earth? Thank you for streaming. The timing of projects such as shutdowns and turnarounds is important in the energy industry due to weather and season constraints. Operators are pressured to schedule their turnarounds in the same period. In Alberta, in December, January, and February, the weather is extremely cold with peak demand for production and doesn't lend itself to a shutdown and turnaround activity. In the summer, workers who have just worked in the spring turnaround season and have worked continuously for 60 days of 12-hour shifts are ready for a break. So July and August are a natural time for a break, and they're unavailable to work. Like D minus, you'll need summer school and to retake that section. Good for one hit. The old 8-ounce trim. Oh, you're just chilling. All right. No problem, Aris. No problem. However. Okay, Aris, I get it. However, there may be an opportunity to tweak the timing of turnaround projects. It may not be possible to change a company's turnaround date by weeks, but they can be moved by days to simultaneously ease the demand of all the companies requiring their workforce. She suggested that to manage that feat, companies can manage information about shutdowns and turnarounds by developing an appropriate aggregate forum or a venue for discussions. Yeah, no companies are going to do that. They're not going to work. Different companies aren't going to work together. The ones who are paying the most are going to be like, hey, contractors, get over here. We're paying, and we want you guys for this amount of time. And that's what's going to happen. That was a long one. We'll skip this one. It just goes on about how it's productively stalled in the construction trades. But we'll skip that, and we'll just go, how about to picture time? Picture time. And maybe some videos. Let me just get this pulled up here. I know you guys like picture time. Okay. So this kind of fits in, this first video, the first two videos. This fits in with my the little subtitle of the stream there. It's the smallest things. And you'll see right off the bat here. what I mean by that. Okay, there we go. So this is a circuit board for a gas monitor. There's no sensors in it. As you can see, it says H2S, CO, O2, and LEL. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's see if the camera can stay focused. But so this is a small circuit board, right? This thing fits in the palm of your hand. And right at the top here, might be tough to see. There we go. There's that's a diode. That's a light emitting diode. Okay? And because of the way this was treated, the solder cracked. And this came off. But yeah, look how small that is. That's my finger. And it goes. I'll show you where it goes. There's the other one. It's attached still. And that one, I think it ripped the pads off the circuit board. Okay, and now the next. Okay, we just rewind. Amtel microcontroller, you think? Maybe, DJ. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens here. I did something pretty neat. I grabbed my jeweler's loop that I have at work and put it in front of the camera lens. There we go. A little bit of a makeshift magnifier. There's the good one. That's the good LED. And there's the place that got ripped off. A bear scared it off. Poor tiny diode. But yeah, there it is there. Trying to get a good focus on it. And yeah, Aris, it is tiny. There you go. And there, yeah, it sits there. But I think the pads got ripped off. So I had to explain to the guys that you've got to take better care of the equipment. Because these things are not cheap. Let's play it again. Yeah, it's an LED, GJ. It's an LED. So because this LED got ripped off here, or it got knocked off, it's it fails now when it goes to do a test, when you go to bump it. Flux plus solder or buy a new one. They don't just sell the they don't just sell those. You have to buy the whole unit. So yeah. One of those the whole gas monitor is like $700. So yeah, trying to get a good look at it. I think it ripped the pads off, so there's no fixing that. Once you rip the pads off a circuit board, it's just junk. Cubic half millimeter, maybe an entire millimeter per side. Yeah, it is pretty small. But yeah, I had to tell the guys, hey, don't throw these around, don't drop them. You know, like, take care of these things because they are gonna save you from poisonous gases. Right? That's what the bottom line is. The The gas monitor protects you from hydrogen sulfide or carbon monoxide, or whether there's a lack of oxygen or if there's like explosive gases in the air. So they take care of those 4 things. And if you're going to beat on the things, it's going to let you down, and you're going to suffer for it. You're either going to die because you didn't know, or the monitor wasn't working. Something's going to happen. So sometimes it falls to me to try to educate the guys and give them a little shit sometimes, just like, hey guys, knock it off, Let me let you guess. It'll be $8K to replace it. Yeah. And you're right, Oris. Tech is very fragile. Yes. I mean, the guys have to know to try to take care of it. I know accidents happen. I've had my gas monitor fall out of my pocket and stuff like that. It's got a clip on it, but sometimes the clip lets go and it's fallen. And, but it's like, come on, guys. Don't make a conscious effort to abuse the thing. Good news from earlier, Trump is trying to scrap the EV mandates and make the car industry make some kind of good. That is good news, James. Right on. Like I've always said, don't force it down people's throats. Just let it naturally happen. If people want to go buy electric cars, let them go and do it. Don't get rid of internal combustion engines. Don't force people to drive electric cars. Let it just happen. People will choose. Yeah, hey guys, knock it off. That's right, DJ. And allow old cars to go for emissions testing and not get an automatic fail if they're aftermarket part. Yeah, there you go. Yo, what's up, Godzillionaire? Everyone's favorite kaiju has arrived. Yeah, I was just telling these guys I had to just yell at the guys and tell them, hey, knock it off. Stop abusing the gas monitor, because that it's so tiny. So we used to have something when I lived in British Columbia, we had something called Air Care, and it was for your car. So every, 1 or 2 years, you had to take it in and get your emissions checked. And if you paid whatever it was, I can't remember, $50 or something, and they test your car, and you'd either pass or fail. And if you failed, you had to go get your car worked on, at least $300 worth of work. So you got your car worked on, you brought it back, it went through the test, and it passed. Or if it failed again, then you just paid more money. It was just a big cash grab by the government, and I'm glad they got rid of it, but not before I left. But yeah, it was an absolute stupid thing for them to do. I work with 8-year-olds with special needs, otherwise known as engineers. No, Fabric. They're operators. Guys are just operators. And sometimes you got to hold them by the hand and be like, no, don't do this. Do this, They did knock it off. They knocked off the diode. Yes, they did, DJ. Clean off. Yeah, punk. You trying to knock this diode off? All right, moving along to the next thing. Boom, there you go. Used to be able to buy 5 gas analyzers used. Nice. So this here is a switch, lever controlled, as you can see, and it's for the emergency shower. And I don't know if you guys remember, but the last time I showed you, this was held on with a tie wrap or a cable tie or whatever you want to call them, plastic cable wrap. And that's not acceptable because it's plastic, it's brittle, it can break. And when you're pulling the emergency shower, the alarm needs to go off. Is that the Nintendo Switch too? No leaks. No leaks, Godzillionaire. You know you smell bad when you have to take an emergency shower. I know, right? So there's that part. There's the other half of it. This is on the grab handle. And as you can see, there is set screws going around this thing. So it's tightened onto the pull bar there. And it's got a loop in it. And that's good. So there's the distance between them. It's not a lot. Maybe about 3 inches or so. But still, it needs to have a chain on there. You can't have a piece of plastic. So there, I went and got some chain. And I used some pliers to open up the loop. And I looped it around. And measured it out what I needed, what I wanted to use. I didn't want to use a lot. Just a little bit is good enough. And then I connected it to the other end by just opening up this loop here and hooking it around, closing it up again. And I also slid this part down with the set screws in it, this little cylinder. You can see there's where it sat for the longest time with the rust marks. And snug these both up, tighten them up. And now we've got proper way to pull down the alarm. So yeah, there's always a right way to do things. It just might take a little longer. You take shortcuts, it's usually ends up in a bad way. Is that a wife or steady girlfriend? Bad joke? Tired? You forgot the joke you're trying to make? Oh, yeah, that's when you know you are tired, is when you're like, oh, what was I trying to be funny? There we go. So that's that thing. So much better condition than when I first encountered it. And that's usually the main part of my job is to, yeah, I repair things, but if I can, you try to make things better. Don't let people, and this was probably done by an operator or something, or maybe it was my predecessor. I don't know, but you put like a plastic tie wrap around there. That's just not it. That's incorrect. You don't do it like that. Take the time, get yourself proper chain, put it on, and now you're good. There's no chance of it breaking. It was a set screw joke. Oh, holy bad joke, Batman. That's okay, James. We appreciate you for it. So yeah, all fixed up. Nice, ready to go. Not everything has to be a major breakdown and repair. There's just small things, but it's about improvements, making things better. And I think that's really important too in your job, because it helps everyone. And the Joker got away clean. Holler back at the arseholes. Safety regs are written in human blood. That is very true. When I was first starting out, my instructor held up the WCB book and said, every rule in here is because someone died. So it's like, oh, okay, wow. When you're a young kid, that has its effect on you. You don't want to, you think that, wow, if there's a rule in there, it's because someone died doing whatever it was that the rule says not to do. So it's pretty crazy. And if there's one thing, it's always come home safe. You know, if you're going to take that shortcut, if you're going to do something you think is going to shave some time off, maybe don't do it. Maybe don't do it because it's not worth it. You know, 1 second of not paying attention, or 1 second of doing something dangerous, and you're affected the rest of your life. Like it's amazing what can happen. I don't know. Did I ever tell you about the time I saved somebody from getting wrapped around a piece of machinery? I'll have to show you guys. I didn't get video of the guy, but I just gotta check on if I can find the machine. You gotta go? Alright, Aris. Hey, thanks for coming out. Hope you had a good time, and we hope to see you the next time. Okay, I just gotta find this here. Let's see. It matters not if you have wealth, if you got no health, no time or health to enjoy it. Ah, so true, James. So true, man. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Okay, well, I'll try to show you as best I can with pictures here. So, I was on the job site. This is years ago at the shingle mill. And they were working on, I believe it was working on a weekend. And I was doing some conveyor install. And this other fella, he wasn't from my company. He was a different company, but he was threading some pipe. And he was using one of these machines. You know what? Screw you, Google. I am going to go with... There we go. There we go. DuckDuckGo. Better. At least I can see the size of the images. There we go. So these things, rigid threaders, they don't stop for nobody. These things are so low geared. They've got such high torque that they just don't stop. You're wrapped up in this thing if anything happens. You think Oryx like a massive ancient megafauna moose? Everybody's working for the weekend. Aren't we all, right? Grok.com is free now. So anyways, this thing had a long piece of pipe going through it. It was like 20 feet long. And it had a T on it, and it had the branch coming off the T, just a short one. But this thing was running, and I'm working away, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something flash by the corner of my eye. And I'm like, what the hell was that? So I look, and here's Buddy. He's got his coveralls caught on the pipe, and it's pulling him around. and he's jumping over, and it's pulling him around. He's jumping over to get, and he didn't say anything. He was just going along for the ride. He didn't say help or cry out or anything like that. And I saw him, and I was like, whoa, man. And I ran over to the machine, and I unplugged it. But if I wasn't there, he would have been stuck on that thing, and it would have been flopping him around and flopping him around. And it was just crazy that happened. But that's something that can happen at any time. Like I said, this thing doesn't stop. The gear ratio on this is just nuts. You know, you've got a high-speed motor that's geared to this output shaft, and it spins at maybe 5 to 10 RPM. Maybe. So you gotta figure, if it's 1800 revolution per minute motor and this is 10, that gear reduction is like 180 to 1. You are getting pulled around by this thing. It doesn't care. It's gonna keep running. But there is no giant emergency red stop button. It's foot activated. Some of them you can just flip the switch and the foot pedal doesn't engage it. It just starts. That's why I was looking for a power head, because this isn't like the power head one he was using. The power head one he used, you just flip the switch on and it runs and runs and runs, and that's it. So I was happy to help the guy. Like, it's like, wow, I saved this guy from getting smashed up. So but it's still something that to this day, you know, it's in my mind that he got grabbed by that piece of pipe. It grabbed his coveralls, and it kept pulling him around and pulling him around and pulling him around. So it's like, it's crazy. Be careful with these things. If you guys get close to one of these or know if you're using one of these, just be careful with this thing. It just don't stop. Yeah, DJ, it is a lot of torque. Like, it's crazy. So that 10 foot-pounds is easily 1,000 or 10,000. Yeah, James. Yep. It's something you gotta be wary of. And I know a lot nowadays. A lot of people are on their phones and everything while things are going on. Try not to be. When you're on the job site, try not to be on your phone, unless, of course, it's break time or whatever. But when things are going on and, you know, machinery is running, best not to be on your phone, because you wouldn't, things like that you won't see that. I wonder if that's more like it. No, that's not like it either. Nope, not that either. Anyways, yeah. Rigid pipe threader. It's amazing. It can go from 1/2-inch pipe all the way up. There's some that do 4-inch pipe. So you got to figure 4-inch diameter pipe, super heavy, lots of torque to turn it. So it's quite the machine, and something to be respected, because, oh, that looks like it. No, that's not it. Darn, wish I could show you guys. Anyways, these things are super powerful, because threading is such an extreme process. Like, you're cutting into solid pipe with your tapered threads. Grok's Twitter AI. Yes, it is. Yeah. You insist on training AI poorly? Why should you train my replacement for free? Yeah, James, exactly. Yeah, and there's quite some amazing attachments. If you've never seen one of these here. There's one you can put on the pipe and run it through a drive shaft. So it's like a power threading head, and it goes on the pipe for a pipe that's too big to fit. This is it right here. So that nub right here, can I get a bigger? There we go. So that nub right there, that accepts a drive shaft. So you take this thing, put it on top of the pipe to thread. Now we're talking like maybe 6-inch diameter, 5-inch, 6-inch diameter. You take it, you put it on, and then you hook up your drive shaft from your power head, and it goes on this nub here. And so the whole thing spins as it goes around the pipe. So I've experienced that before, and that was crazy to be a part of. That was pretty amazing. I think that's it too. Not a very good picture though. And you'll know how hard it is to thread things when you do it with this thing here. This is a hand threader. So it comes with it's like a 2-foot long handle because you need all that torque. And then you put one of these in there, the die head, and there's the size of it right there. It looks like 1 inch. So 1-inch diameter pipe. And yeah, you'll see how hard it is to thread things when you're doing it by hand. You'll really appreciate the machine. There we go. There's a better shot of it. Look how long that handle is. You need that. You need that torque to make those threads. And they come in a set, usually. From 1/2 inch to, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 2 inch. Common size, anyway. Then there's these ones. This is like handheld. This thing will take you for a ride if you're not careful. I've used one of these before, and yeah, it has a trigger that'll switch the direction like right away. So if in case you're getting pulled along for the ride, if you're getting flipped over the piece of work or something like that, you can hit the button and go the other direction right away. But yeah, the hand power threader, that's one that, like I say, it'll take you for a ride. It doesn't care how much you weigh. Over you go. There we go, right there. They got a good picture of it too. Oh, damaged. Look at that. It's got a damaged cord. But other than that, this thing, there you go. Put the die in there, and away you go. You pull the trigger, whoosh, off you go. Very handy, but once again, very dangerous. Respect the tools, because yeah. You think you've seen that exact machine at Home Depot? It's more surreal than surreal. Pablo Picasso can't compete. Two-man job? It can be, yeah. Once it's started though, you stay back. It is quite rigid. Yes, DJ. There it is there. And you can see, or maybe you can't. There's the switch there, and there's the switch over there. So you push it one way and push it the other way right away. Very handy, very, very necessary to keep yourself from getting wrapped up. Get your mind out of the gutter, DJ. Here we are. There's a guy using it right there. There is no way that you're using the oiler and doing that at the same time. No way. If anything, you oil it up first and then just give her and then back it off. You're not oiling at the same time. Someone else read The Onion today. Found that super depressing. I don't read The Onion. Nope, there's another one. Yep. It looks like, oh, okay. He doesn't skip right arm day. Yeah. There you go, Godzillionaire. Look at this. I've never seen this before. Can't be reached. The hell. Looks like it helps hold it so it doesn't take off on you. It looks like you have a clamp. Quite a robust clamp to clamp onto the pipe, and it's got a little stub sticking out of it that hooks on there so it doesn't take off on you. Okay, that's a little better. I wish I knew that. It's supposed to be funny. And noisy as hell too, these rigid machines. If you've ever used them, just noisy as hell. Just and yeah, you're just you gotta wear some earplugs because it's just freaking noisy as hell. The Onion was funny a decade ago, then they got TDS and went off the deep end. It seems to be a common thing that happens there, Godzillionaire. But yeah, I mean, just remember, rigid threading, it's an extreme process. You have to be very careful. Read up on your manual for your machine because that'll help you out. You can rent them at your local rental store. They can do sizes from 1/2 inch to 4 inch with these type of machines, and then with those other ones, you can do like 6 inch diameter. But they are very, very handy, very useful if you're doing a lot of piping stuff. And there's these smaller ones. And those aren't bad. A little messy, a little more messy. Like you see, they have to have its own little pail to catch all the chips and everything and the oil. Because it does get very oily. It does make a big mess. That's why these ones are so much better. They have their own containment, their own oil pump. You're having everything contained. You don't have to worry about making a mess all over the place. Prison handy now 2 packs of cigarettes. That was the Onion headline today. Oh, due to high inflation. I see. Yeah, the 535, used that one before. Nice big wheels, got places to stow the handles. Pick them up and away you go. Off you go to the next place. And I'm sure there's lots of YouTube videos about people using rigid threaders and all that. All right. There you go, guys. That's I think that's it. Gonna call our stream there. So I want to thank you guys who came out today. Hey, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and spread the word. Tell your friends. The more the merrier. We get more people out here, more people chatting it up, more participation. It's gonna be even better. So yeah, guys like David, Glenn, James, Alex Moore, Fabric, of course, DJ Ronnie G, and Aris was here. And who else was here? Pretty sure I said Alex. Alex and James. And Godzilla, of course, everyone's favorite kaiju. And anybody else who was lurking and listening, I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe learned a few things. I do this every Tuesday night. So come on down to the industrial stream. We'll go through and hopefully learn a little bit about the trades, and maybe it'll convince some people to take it up as a career choice. So yeah, there's other good channels out there, you guys, people who I know that you watch and people that I watch, like Pacific 414 and our own DJ Ronnie G. There's Brandon the Anime Guy. There's Carl at the RNG Podcast. There's Tomby, Angry Canadian, Reportal Lifeform. There's Punk Waddle. That's everybody's favorite penguin. And Infinite Metal. He's on Twitch and Kick, and he does retro gaming, and he does his pet dragon Skelly, who mocks him as he plays, and that's the big fun I get out of it. I come for the gameplay and stay for the mockery. All right, coming up, you guys, Saturday Retro Game Day. Getting further along in Yu-Gi-Oh! I really got to adjust my deck, though, because I'm tired of trying to run them out of cards in order to beat them, so I've got to do some decisive victory. Yes, DJ. Aris, 218-2. Yes, Aris. Yeah, I've been on to one of Aris' streams and that. I watched him play some games. And then after Saturday, Sunday Anime Chat Day. The theme for this month is superheroes. Tune in and I'll showcase some superhero shows of the past. Superheroes anime style. So we can see what their interpretation of superheroes is. And I'm sure we'll all have a fun time watching that. And then we're back to Tuesday again. More trades talk, more industrial trades. All that kind of good stuff. Stuff that makes the world work when it comes right down to it. Is it Sticks and Rocks? Not much more retro than that. Yeah, James, yeah. Watch me as I play stickball. Hey, you guys want to play some stickball? Superheroes, you got her, David Glenn. Superheroes is where it's at. My personal favorite is All Might from My Hero Academia. Now there's a good hero. Except maybe Rocks and Mud. Yeah. Good old dirt clods, right, James? All right. Well, I had a fun time tonight. I hope you guys did too. And I hope to see you guys on Saturday at 9 a.m. sharp. That's Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Where I'm going to try to beat somebody in a children's card game. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.